What is up, Nerds Nation? Welcome to the F Nerds podcast. My name is Nick Denizio, and sitting across from me is Martin Moreno. We're going to get right into it. Some massive news drop, something that we never thought was going to happen. It's official. The Snyder Cut is getting released. It's going to debut on HBO Max sometime in 2021. As of right now, there's the possibility that it could be a 4-hour director's cut, or it could appear as a 6 TV-style chapters. Zack Snyder is getting the gang back together with the original post-production crew to score, cut, and finish visual effects. So, just jumping right in.
Impossible audio shoots actors coming back to lend their voices.
Yes, yeah, they're going to do some ADR work as well.
This happened a couple of days ago, and over the last couple of days, all this sort of news has dropped regarding the hashtag release of Snyder Cut. And they said about 20 to 30 million was going to be the budget, and that budget was going to essentially be used to do everything that you just mentioned. Essentially, whatever Zack Snyder's vision was originally, they're giving him the money now to go in and finish out whatever story he originally wanted to tell and bring his vision to life.
Right.
And I mean, what are we signing up?
I know.
We are so excited. I am so pumped. I can't wait for this. Like, this is so exciting. And just good for him.
Yeah.
Good for Zack Snyder. Glad that he's able to come in and see his vision through. And for us as fans, awesome.
Yeah.
So pumped.
Yeah, really awesome. So there's, as the days have gone on, more and more details have come out about this. It was reported from Humberto Gonzalez from The Wrap that there's going to be no additional photography or reshoots. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're adding extra scenes or anything like that. It's whatever was shot is in the can. It's done.
Which was some of the concerns that I had. I was wondering if, are they actually going to... Because when Zack Snyder came out and said that it was going to be a whole new thing, that kind of threw me off a little bit. So I'm like, in what terms or in what sense do you mean it's going to be a whole new thing?
Probably just a whole new thing from the original.
Right,
Justice
pretty much
League.
saying whatever you saw, fucking forget about it. Erase it from your mind. This is a whole new thing.
Right.
So I'm happy that all these other reports kind of came out and just kind of really clarified everything that was going on, and exciting.
Yeah. It said that, and see, this is where I was getting a little bit thrown off because I thought that they were going to film a few more scenes just because I know Zach had wanted to do a couple, but apparently from the report that I read, HBO Max kind of squashed it. Was like, we're just going to do the scoring, we're just going to do ADR, we're just going to, just any other kind of visual effects work, but we're not going to come back. The fact that there's going to be no additional photography or reshoots, I mean, it kind of makes sense because when you have, this type of cast and what, how much, they cost to get,
mm-hmm.
It would cause that 20 or 30 million to absolutely balloon if you were to bring these guys back for more scenes.
Right, unless they voluntarily come back and do it. Because we know that the love for Zack Snyder is real. Mm-hmm. Remember Ray Fisher when he came out on Comic-Con, he ripped his shirt off?
Yeah, I love Zack Snyder on it.
Because the longest time, I thought that said Xyla Stone, because that's his dad.
Oh.
So I'm like, that's neat. And then it forever.
Yeah.
Forever. I think
wow.
Maybe two or for way down the road, I realized, oh wait, that was fucking Zack Snyder. But yeah, Ray Fisher loves him. Jason Momoa, all you gotta do is tell him you got a 6-pack of Guinness.
Dude, Jason Momoa loves Zack Snyder.
Yeah, he'll come rushing over. Essentially all these, even Gal Gadot, these major roles are because of Zack Snyder. He single-handedly went out and casted all these people.
Well, it's funny you bring up Gal because she said the same thing, that she was going to quit until she got the call from Zack that he wanted her to be Wonder Woman.
Right, so it's the love and appreciation for Zack is there. So I wouldn't be surprised if if they take time or take it upon themselves to come back and make some things happen to help make his vision the best it possibly can be.
Right.
And also, we were saying, CG nowadays, all you gotta do, if Zack has a studio in his basement, or maybe he does, who knows, whatever, but you can literally rent out any studio space for X amount of days, do some little scenes, and then with CG, you want to be on the moon? Okay, we'll put Batman on the moon.
Yeah.
You want to be anything you want, we can make it happen, baby, because effects these days are crazy, but yeah, just cool.
Speaking of Batman, did you see Kevin Smith did one of his Fat Man on Batman episodes, and he asked if Affleck could kind of talk about it. So Affleck actually sent in a video that Kevin Smith played.
I saw the video, but there wasn't any like secret message in there, was it?
No, there wasn't secret. I'm just saying it was a cool thing that was his response to it getting released and everything.
Even though he's like probably like the most unenthusiastic, like it's so funny. I love it when like everyone's like always doing their release of Snyder Cut stuff, and he's just like, yeah, just release it. Like he just throws it out there, like, yeah, just do it. But it's still like coming from him is still like it just blows the internet up.
That's what I mean. And he also it's one of those things where you don't expect him to say anything, and then the fact that he's also just on board with wanting this original cut as well. Because it's funny when he was promoting The Way Back, and he did like, I love those awesome things on GQ where actors go back and they talk about their career, like a retrospective.
Bro, we live for those.
Yeah, and he did his, and he talks about both Batman v Superman and Justice League, and you could see how enthusiastic he is when talking about BVS. And then he's like, and Justice League, and he's like, you know, like he just has like that thing. So you know that he was not happy with how things played out. So the fact that you kind of get to see his original work, Zack's original work, man, it's exciting. It's really exciting to see.
Zack's actually just went like he just went Scott Pilgrim, and he just got like another life.
What are you doing? Getting a life.
And now he's going to like do it all over again.
Basically.
And good for him.
So the other thing that I keep seeing getting kicked around a lot, which I really don't agree with, but a lot of people are starting to say, like, does this set like a dangerous precedent? The fact that the fans were, you know, basically hammering Warner Brothers for 2 years straight, and now Warner Brothers is giving in to them and releasing it. And I don't think that that's not the situation that we're in right now. What situation we're in right now is Warner Brothers has a brand new streaming service, and there's a lot of people that want to see this cut. And it just makes complete sense to them to release it on there, because what it does is it just promotes HBO Max that much more, and it gets a lot of DC fans on board, hopefully, to subscribe to it, because this is Warner Brothers streaming service, and they have a lot of DC stuff planned for it. They have the Green Lantern show, Justice League Dark, so they have a lot of stuff coming to it. So if you get a lot of these Zack Snyder DC fans on board, that just adds more to your subscriber total. That just adds more fans watching this, and it creates hype for all these other things that are coming.
It's just it's a business move,
right?
Like you said, it's really what it comes down to. And even though when we still don't know exactly when the thing is going to be released on HBO Max, but once it does come out, and then we'll get a better idea of the subscriber surge or spike, if there is any or not. I also don't agree with you that it's going to be a precedent in Hollywood, but like Batman working out, emo Batman, Robert Pattinson. But there has been a sort of in recent years, there has been a little bit of I guess studios listening to the fans.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most obvious one recently was Sonic, when everyone freaked out about his design, and they went back and changed it. And look, to the fans' credit, they supported the movie because Sonic made money.
Yes.
So to their credit, they bitched about how bad Sonic looked, but then they went and they watched it.
They redid it, yeah.
And then on topic of the DC universe, whatever it's called, essentially everything that happened post BBS is really where everything kind of started falling apart. The critics shitted on the movie. Fans started complaining about how all the kind of backlash that came from BBS is kind of what slowly started kind of snowball effect. Snowball effect of how kind of everything went downhill, because then Suicides came out, and rumors have it that also had some interference too.
Not rumors, it had interference in it.
Okay, it had interference. Even though David Ayer said that was his cut that came out, but
yeah, yes, he's being a company man.
I know.
You have to. You can't badmouth a movie when you're under contract like that, especially if you're still working for that studio.
I guess.
I mean?
All right, sure. So okay.
Now he's not, so now he can shit on it, which he's been doing.
Yeah, and now there's released Ayer cut.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, so that just there has been sort of proof of fans, I guess, maybe swaying the way studios think a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be a major thing. Even though there is kind of, even though there has been situations in recent history, I think, like you said, the fact that it's a streaming service is really what it kind of comes down to.
Right.
It's like we have this sort of new playground that we can play in. Let's just throw this out there because people are obviously asking for it. The actors, like big names, are getting involved in this sort of hashtag movement. So I'm sure the president saw it and we're like, you know what? Let me give Zack a call because I see some money here. I see some green, and yeah, I'm glad it's happening. I'm glad that we actually. I know we're a little. I don't know how to say this when it comes to streaming services.
I guess like almost like against it a bit because of the fact that it's kind of hurting movie theaters, and
it's eventually
theaters.
going to take over. Like I believe that down the road at some point it will kind of become the kind of dominant. I know maybe you feel a little differently, but I feel like in the future that's going to be the
well, it could also be them just kind of like, I'm blinded by the fact that, or not blinded, but like I'm fearful that that's the truth and I don't want to accept it. You know what I mean? But I think it's one of those things where, maybe with theaters, I mean, this is a whole nother topic to get into, like the streaming versus theaters. But, it could come down to the fact where you just see more spectacle films in theaters and that's it. And you just get more, mid-tier budget, lower budget things it all goes to streaming,
But regardless,
yeah.
Yeah. But like you said, it's a whole nother conversation. But this creates a new playground for for studios and companies to kind of release these sort of things.
Well, speaking of that, you mentioned the David Ayer cut. I think that out of all these things that have been getting announced, I mean, you never want to say never, because the fact that Justice League is coming out, you never would have thought that would have happened. So there is a possibility that we might get the David Ayer cut, because I feel like that his cut, Suicide Squad was not as visual effects heavy, at least in terms of compared to like what Justice League was and what Zack Snyder usually does with his films.
I'm pretty sure all the CG was in Enchantress's dance moves.
Yeah, probably.
That's like all the whipping and her army of people with warts
and like eyes and stuff.
The warts army.
Yeah, but that's one of those things where I do think that there is the possibility that I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if you were to tell me, hey, they might release Eric, I'm like, all right, they might. They might do it now just because.
And if so, I'll watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, because I like superhero shit.
Yeah.
So why not?
Well, I mean, and that just comes back around to what the fact that this is coming out now, and the thing that I'm taking away from it is that regardless of how Zack originally was going to end this Justice League movie, this now just basically has the opportunity to just completely close out and give a definitive ending to, maybe not a definitive ending in terms of the story, but a definitive ending to his work in DC. You know what I mean? And I think
he had like a 5-movie arc.
He had a 5-movie arc, but just
going
for
to
him in total, like that, this is coming out because people felt shortchanged that he basically had Justice League. Whether you want to say it was taken away from him or not, he didn't get a chance to finish it.
Yeah, it's going to be essentially it's going to close the chapter on that.
On his
I'm sure he had like more shit that he wanted to tell, but up to that point, like, let's close the book. And I think I'm glad that they kind of clarified that, because we were a little confused as to, look, if this comes out and it's great, does that mean it could possibly keep it going? They pretty much came out and said no. They said like, no, stop thinking like they because I'm sure those questions were going around.
Yes.
And did they say? Because something that we were kind of speaking amongst ourselves was if the possibility of this doing good, if Henry Cavill could come back. Was there any kind of...
So there's no talk about that, and I honestly think that... So I feel like what they're doing right now is they're saying, hey, look, you're getting it, it's coming out, and that's it, and cool, you know what I mean? And everyone's really happy about it. I think they're saying that, but I don't buy it completely, because like, let's say it comes out, right, and it gets awesome reviews and the fans love it and it's super successful. Let's say it causes
#save Henry Cavill,
right, and let's say it causes a spike in subscribers and it makes the money, even if it doesn't get the best reviews. Let's say all it has to do is just make money for HBO Max. It has to cause subscribers uptick. People need to enjoy it. You know what I mean? And I think if that happens, I think maybe they'll go back and revisit it a little bit and say, well, maybe we can bring Henry Cavill back for Man of Steel 2. Maybe we can continue on with Ray Fisher as Cyborg. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, if it's successful and it makes money, that changes the game. It changes everything. You know what I mean?
Miller, like we said, out here RKOing fans. Right. So maybe, I don't know.
Maybe not Ezra Miller, but
Batfleck is essentially out.
Batfleck is out, but I mean, you never know. If this comes out and it's super successful and Zack comes to him and is like, hey, I have this idea, if you want to come back as Bruce Wayne to play a role in who knows what, Justice League 2, Man of Steel 2.
Flashpoint Paradox.
And then we can
reset everything, because you have the button there, you've had it forever, but
right.
We just said we don't know what's going on with Ezra Miller.
Right.
But yeah, that's going to be in the back of our minds for a while.
Yeah.
Like the possibilities of what could happen. We'll worry about it more, obviously, once we eventually get there. But
Well, I was gonna say the way I look at it is in just being realistic, I'm just gonna look at it as this is coming out. It's a one-off thing, and once it's done, it's done.
Let's enjoy it.
I'm not looking at it. I mean, it's fun to speculate. It's fun to think of what could possibly be, but
bro, I'm gonna be like about to like fall asleep, and I'm gonna wake up and just think to myself for like an hour, what if it does well? What if Henry Cavill can come back?
Right.
How can he come back? Because that's just how I am.
right. But like for me, and I think for you, just as fans of this, it's awesome that we're getting a brand new Justice League movie. It's awesome we get to see all these characters interacting again. It's awesome we get to see finally, like, hopefully, like, if this is Affleck's last run, which it definitely is, we get to see him kind of finish out as the Batman we expect. We get to see Henry Cavill not have weird upper lip CG. You know what I mean? We get to see all this stuff. We get to see more of Aquaman. We get to see that fact that Willem Dafoe got cut out. We get more Mara. We get all kinds of stuff.
Oh, actually, we didn't even talk about this. Which way do you want it? The series or the movie?
I definitely want the series.
I think so too.
I definitely want the series.
Gives you the chance to literally just have all the fat on the bone.
Yes.
Everything you want, just throw it on there. Like, remember when we were watching The Town extended cut? Because
I love director's cuts.
You love your
I love director's cuts.
Big director cut slut.
Yeah.
Hashtag director cut slut. I like that. Just some of all the fat that was on that bone, all like the stuff that was there, that just did not work. Like
right.
when you it's so much fun watching it from like an editor standpoint. Like, that doesn't work. Let's get it out of there. And it may not work for the movie itself, but for something like this, when you have a series, just throw everything in there. Figure out how you can have a proper beginning and ending to every single episode. How you can possibly have a proper cliffhanger, things like that. Like, structure very well, which I'm sure they can do. And I would rather do that, so that way you can just show everything. Like, this is Zack Snyder's chance to give us the best version of his story. Whatever story he like, I have issues with Zack Snyder's storytelling. Even though the BVS extended cut was a better version of that story, I still didn't like that story.
Right.
But this is his chance to really give us the best version of what he originally wanted to tell. And if that's the case, then bro, just do your series. Literally throw everything on there. Just take everything you have and just fucking throw it on the board.
Right.
Throw the kitchen sink at it. The Zack Snyder hashtag release Snyder cut kitchen sink at it.
Right.
Just go crazy. Give us every single minute that you can, and why not?
Which I think is going to happen because you saw. I mean, I showed you the picture that he's because obviously Zack Snyder's like the only one that's trying to make Vero happen.
Yeah, he's like Gretchen Wieners. Like, stop trying to make Vero happen. It's not going to happen.
You love him, and he totally complimented you. That is so fetch. Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
But he posted in his original cut, he had the Atom in there as a character working in Star Labs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I was thinking about what I said yesterday.
Yeah, bro.
I'm terrible.
But so he had that, and then he showed storyboards that he has Martian Manhunter in there as well.
But was that filmed? Do you know?
I don't know if it was filmed, but when we were talking about the possibility, they said no reshoots. I feel like something like that they could do though, because it's with Henry Lennox, and like they could bring. You tell me he wouldn't come back for it. He's even jazzed up about it because he tweeted about the Snyder cut. So that kind of eludes that either it was filmed or it still is going to get filmed.
Like, you can literally find like any broken down abandoned apartment and just be like, hey, let me give you $1,000.
Just come here.
Let me give you $1,000 to like the landlord, and just let me use it for like a day.
Because he showed the storyboards for it, so it's not a long scene. It's literally just alluding to the fact that he is Martian Manhunter, and that's all it is.
Yeah, it's like a quick conversation between him and Diane Lane.
Lois Lane.
Oh, Lois Lane.
Yeah. I think it's him and Lois Lane. I'm pretty
Diane
sure.
Lane, I meant Martha.
Oh, true.
Yeah, not
was Martha. It Diane Lane? Maybe.
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure it was Martha.
Oh, maybe it was.
Okay, but
maybe it was. But either way, it's literally just a quick
burrito.
Oh, you want to do it?
Yeah, I want to do it. I'm confident about this one.
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty good about this one.
All right, we're betting then.
Okay, betting steak burrito.
I'm going to say first.
I'm going to say he was talking to Martha.
All right, I'm going to say he was talking to Lois Lane.
Now I'm just getting all this doubt. All this doubt is coming in. It's just like a wave just hit me in the face.
So for those of you that don't know, me and Martin have had this thing where we made bets on different stuff for burritos,
and I've lost every.
And I'm 3-0 right now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to make it 4-0.
But I'm man, my word, I always get this kid a burrito.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're here. We're double checking in on the bet, and it looks like we have some. It's a little interesting right here. So yeah, go ahead, read that.
So we can see Martha Kent visiting Lois Lane, setting up a cut scene Snyder had previously revealed. Only now when Martha leaves the apartment, it shows she turns into Martian Manhunter before turning into General Swanwick.
All right, so essentially it's Martha and Lois, both.
Pretty
So
much.
stalemate then? How do you want to call it? You want to call it even?
We'll call it even.
All right, we'll call it even. We'll call it as a stalemate for now. So still winless, 0-3-1. This is 3-0-1, but I'll get one.
What I was alluding to with that is the fact that, you have the Atom, you have Martian Manhunter, all these extra characters. Like, that's why I want it to be a series, and I just want this to be, like, just the most ultimate, like, DC thing that's ever happened.
That's what I'm saying. Just
this massive universe with all these characters running around. Like, this is what I'm hoping for.
Like, you have this chance to just tell everything you want to tell, and not just that, but you've had literally almost, like, 2 years to rethink some things, like kind of find polish, tune. So, like I said, this is literally the best version of Zack Snyder's vision. So let's just get it, let's enjoy it, and I can't wait. I'm so excited.
The other cool thing is we're hopefully going to be getting, and I think Zach is teasing this a little bit. We're getting the original design for Steppenwolf from the BVS. It's like the more hulking, more sinister looking kind of guy.
Like a little scarier.
Yeah, way more intimidating. So that's probably where a lot of the VFX work is going into, is kind of redoing that character.
Right, because that Themyscira attack, I believe, was an original Zack Snyder vision thing. It was just Steppenwolf.
Yes, it was just they redid it, and I think I think a lot of the fact
Zack Snyder, if you're listening, can you just take out if Steppenwolf saying "at last," if that was your thing, can you just take it out? I'm so sick of villains saying "at last," like all the time,
all the time.
But whatever.
So the fact we're getting that, and then what was cool was a lot of the just when Diana's talking about like that, she's giving the history lesson as to the original invasion with Steppenwolf and everything. It wasn't Steppenwolf, it was Darkseid in that whole thing running around, and so so we're gonna see Darkseid a lot, which is gonna be really awesome.
Yeah, he had like partially finished, at least like the animated
almost like 3D model, like the rendering and everything.
Yeah, thank you. He had pretty much that. I believe it was just a model without like the coloring or the rendering of it.
Yeah.
Like that. But yeah, that's dope. And I believe originally that's how the movie was supposed to start.
Yes, with the history lesson.
Right.
And it was supposed to be like massive. Like we were supposed to get like Zeus and Ares and all these characters fighting Darkseid and his army and everything. Like the actors that played those characters, they teased like there was just these massive battles and stuff like that, like Lord of the Rings scale kind of thing. So that's what I'm really excited for.
And I went back and I watched the original trailer for Comic-Con from 2016.
I did too.
Yeah, and there's like even when the Atlantean or the man are like burying the mother boxes, there's just so much stuff there that I'm sure we're going to get.
Well, and then in watching like the scenes, you just see like when Bruce Wayne goes to meet Aquaman, and when he goes to meet the Flash. The scenes just have so much more room to breathe that was really cut down in the original in the actual movie.
That's the one thing that I'm like completely like happy for, the fact that those terrible wigs.
Oh, I know.
But question.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll keep or get rid of the giant glass of whiskey?
I knew you were gonna say
that.
Dude, that is, when you told me about that, I cannot like unsee it.
Well,
and
that was not
every
me. That
time
was credit to, I believe it was Nerdist. They were doing a review, and then someone there pointed it out, and since then it's just been with me, and I just gotta tell everyone about it.
It's absolutely hysterical.
It's amazing.
For those of you that haven't, you can go back and watch it on YouTube. It's the scene where Diana
ridiculous
comfort Bruce Wayne.
First of all, she like walks and
she
she's
walks
like
in.
never, like no, she's like, well, she goes to see him first, and she's like in her normal costume, and then she shows up at the entrance of that room,
and she's throwing a
with,
scarf on.
With this weird,
like,
I'm like, what is?
It's like she grabbed a curtain and threw it on. Like,
it's like, it's like her mating call. Like,
right.
Like what's gonna happen? Like, what's about to go down? Are you like gonna try to seduce him? It's just so
and then
weird.
You got Affleck in like this weird Under Armour bat suit. Like it's like this weird
just
like
struggling, and like it's like I'm like,
and he gets up to go pour himself a massive
glass of whiskey.
This is the job.
It's my job. And I haven't been doing it. I've been reacting, not leading.
And not just him, but he poured her one too. And then like they cut off right when she's about to drink it, because like, look, I'm sure Wonder Woman can chug that shit without a problem.
Yeah.
But let's the kids are watching. Let's put that away.
Oh, it was awesome. But Yeah, so I'm happy that all those reshoots are now going to be gone because they were absolutely terrible. They were like
I know, man. I'm all for the massive glass of whiskey.
That's true. So maybe we'll keep that one in.
A little deleted scene.
And then obviously the other thing that I'm super pumped for is just Ray Fisher in general, because I know
Cyborg baby.
He really got the short end of the stick, I think, for the actual movie. I remember when Zack Snyder was still on board with Justice League, and he was talking about the film and saying how Cyborg is really like the heart of the film. A lot of it runs through him, and I know a lot of his stuff got cut. You know, when they came back and redid Justice League, a lot of his stuff.
And he
got
was
cut.
my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah,
he really was. And even though that scene was just, I was thinking about it again. It seems so ridiculous.
Which scene?
When Wonder Woman meets up with him, they meet up in the hallway. He tells her something, and then he leaves. Like when they meet up in the alley or the street.
Oh,
or whatever.
yeah.
So he's like, okay, let's meet him here. So he goes, he tells her something, and he leaves. And she's like, tell me more. He's like, wait, what more do you want? Like the way it just happens.
Yeah.
Like let's just meet here. I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm gonna go. Like I was like, what?
Right.
But yeah, he was my favorite part of the movie. I loved whatever the amount that we got of him just really stuck out for me, and I really enjoyed Ray Fisher as his character, and yeah, I'm excited to see more of what his sort of situation was in the film because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So and we got him right there, joining right next to Tactical Batman, which 2.5 fucking years to arrive. And I love how you saw on Reddit the other day that someone was talking about
how they had ordered the Superman Justice League one just like that, and,
right.
and they had ordered it over 2 years ago and had just gotten it now.
Bro, I'm telling you, we got the emails. I'm sure that guy, whoever that person was, would agree with me that we got the email saying like, due to high demand, we gotta like.
There was no high demand.
No, like let's be real, right? Infinity War was coming out. I'm sure those Thanos hot figures. I'm sure those Iron Man hot figures were blowing up, and everyone was just like, should we make 500 of these Thanos or these like 7 of these like Justice League? All right, let's fast track the Thanos, and then we'll push the like Martin Moreno from New Jersey. Fuck that guy. Let's give it to all these other people and like who want these like.
Well, you know what though? That might have some increased value now that the new version's coming out.
And look at this. Look how sexy this is.
That's the other thing, man. Like I'm pumped to see.
Well, look at it blowing in the wind. It's fucking amazing, man.
Like I'm really pumped to see like just all like these action scenes and like all this extra stuff because like I feel like that was not properly given. Commissioner Gordon, like
you totally forget about J.K. Simmons.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get a little bit more of him.
You get more of Alfred. Like you get all this stuff, man. You get all this extra stuff that's that you didn't get to see.
Bro, just do the miniseries. Zach, throw everything you have on there. Just give us everything, and yeah, I can't wait. And something else that you mentioned yesterday, we're gonna get 2 Batmans next year.
2 Batman.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be awesome.
And possibly 3 on Batwoman because they just introduced Bruce Wayne. But in terms of like big budget Batman,
yeah, right?
We're going to get 2 next year, and like
it's gonna be awesome.
I don't know if I can handle all that Batman.
So there's rumors floating around as to when this is gonna come out. Obviously, I'm not gonna entertain them because they're just rumors. But when do you realistically see this coming out? Because if they're just doing VFX,
actually, one more thing I want to say before we get into that, is that like that Nerds Nation. I'm sure it's gonna be arguments. Batfleck's better. Battinson's better.
No,
shut the fuck up. Just enjoy the fact that we're getting all these Batman hot dogs thrown in their face, and just take it. Just take it. All right. Let's enjoy it. But in terms of the release date, we were having this conversation. I thought what was interesting about this was that we weren't too sure. Because we thought that they were going to bring back actors.
Yes.
So we were like, okay, in terms of like the actor schedule, that's probably going to determine when it's going to come out. But if it's just VFX and they're just finishing up and polishing up and doing like just essentially getting everything finalized in order for it to come out, then I can imagine soon. I would say maybe within a year.
Yeah.
I would say maybe sometime early next summer. Yeah. It's definitely a possibility. And if that's the case, we know that Zack Snyder likes to release out trailers year and a half possibly. Like remember, Man of Steel came out when Man of Steel trailer came out with Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. The Watchmen trailer came out with Batman Begins. Right. Like the guy loves to tease his shit. I believe BVS trailer, the first one, the teaser, came out like a little bit, like a year and a half.
I want to say it was,
or maybe just a year. It was April. I remember it was April because we were going to AC. I remember driving down to AC with Josh, and I was like watching it on my phone. And same thing. The Comic-Con trailer for Justice League came out like a year plus before it. Right. So he loves to get his shit out there earlier. He's
He's already teasing it.
Right.
Somebody asked him a question like, "Hey, are you cutting a trailer?" And he just responded with like a smiley emoji.
I thought that if, in terms of like the actor schedule, I thought that maybe it could come out later on next year. So then I thought we can probably get a trailer within the end of the summer. But now the fact that everything was really clarified, it's just post-production work. I'm going to go out and say that we're probably going to get a trailer within the next month or two.
Wow.
And we'll probably get, I'm going to say that an estimated release date of sometime early next summer. So maybe like May or like, because he let's make it a summer thing. Why not? Why not? Let's.
I can see like a Memorial Day.
Yeah, let's do it.
Release.
Like I'm all for it. And yeah, so I'm gonna say trailer relatively soon, within the next month or two, and then I'm gonna say the announcement of the actual release will be probably sometime early summer of next year. And then if reports come out that some people are coming back, then that maybe push it a little bit.
Right.
But regardless, I still think no matter what, we're going to get a trailer before the end of this summer. Yeah. Like I wholeheartedly believe that.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's kind of my take on it.
And then the other thing that we almost forgot to mention, a lot of people were throwing around like the pros and cons of this happening. One of the biggest positives I see is that, because we're in this pandemic right now, with this coming out now, and this basically gives, this can put people back to work. And a lot of like the people that work in post-production houses and stuff, they can now go back and start
which is what they said
working,
too.
which is really cool.
Yeah,
I think it's a really awesome thing.
At a time where there's not really a job, it's almost perfect because we're giving people
work, which is great.
In terms of other pros and cons, really, I don't really have any.
No, not really. I'm just happy this is coming out.
I'm so happy. like all the cons that I had originally was before were essentially answered in regards to like all of the reports that came out. So at this point, it's all pros. I'm excited. I'm happy, and I just can't wait. Like, I know. We're gonna get another Justice League trailer. Yeah. Like, how exciting is that? Yeah. Like, we're getting another Justice League trailer. It's like, I saw Justice League in theater 3 times. Don't ask me why. I just did.
Because you wanted to like it.
No, not it.
That's not it?
No, it's because friends were like, "Hey, Martin, did you see this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, well, do you want to go see it?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll go see it with you," because no one else will, rightfully so. Right. So I'll go see it, and every time I went, it just got a little worse.
Well, you have a history of going to see movies you don't like a lot in theaters.
Oh, yeah, because I'm a movie theater guy.
How many times do you see BVS in theaters?
Like 5. Yeah, and I don't like BVS people. I
really like BVS.
I know, Nick is a BVS guy.
And I'm going to like BVS a lot more now that we're getting the legit Justice League coming out.
There's certain things I like about BVS, but the movie as a whole, not for me, dog.
Not to prolong this discussion, but fuck it, why not? Does Justice League have the opportunity to redeem certain things that happen in BVS?
All right, let me think about this. Let me think about how I'm going to answer this, because you know me, I'm very impulsive. Right. I just jump out and I say shit. Yeah. I'm the Luke Skywalker of this group. You're the Obi-Wan because you're the Optimist. Right. You're the Optimist. You believe in this. You're the Obi-Wan. I'm the Luke. Like, I'm very impulsive. I'm gonna kill Kylo. No, I'm not. I'm gonna burn this tree down. No, I'm not. Fuck this training. I'm out. Yoda lifts the thing out. All right, maybe. All right, maybe I'll stay.
Because I think that with not that I wouldn't say this is for everybody, but just for me, with Wonder Woman, right? How you kind of got how important that picture was to her. Because I remember when BVS came out, people were like, "Why is she worried about a picture? Why all this stuff?" And then you get the context of that photo and what it means to her. To me, that strengthened BVS just a little bit, at least for me. Maybe not for other people, but for me, it just added more depth to what she was doing in BVS. You know what I mean? So with Justice League, obviously a lot of people thought that Superman's death was rushed, which I do kind of agree with. I think BVS as a whole is just rushed, even though I really enjoy it. I think they were just rushing their universe, but with more context to what his original story was, it could strengthen some plot points that were maybe left hanging in BVS.
Maybe in the sense of, well, this was kind of talked about in the trailer when Steppenwolf was doing a voiceover, and he's like, "There's no more Kryptonians, no more Lanterns." So it does leave the Earth a little bit more vulnerable. Right. But that's something that we already gotten. So that's something that I already kind of knew. So from that point, I remember when he says that in the trailer, like a long time ago, I was like, okay, maybe that makes a little more sense in regards to why Superman was killed. I think just the fact that some of the stuff of how BVS kind of just how it was rushed, like you said, I think I don't know if it'll strengthen anything. Maybe the more I think about it, once we actually see it, maybe. But Batman goes from 0 to 100 real quick on how he feels about Superman and all this other stuff.
Well, it's not like a lot of people do not like the Martha moment, and it's nothing's ever going to fix that. If you didn't like it at the start, nothing's ever going to fix it, because it is rushed, and obviously, like, you know, you had to get to the point where they team up. You know what I mean? And it's just a moment where, you know, it's a moment for me, even though I like BVS, I don't like that moment. I understand its context. I understand the meaning behind it. I understand what Bruce is seeing when, you know, he's saying save Martha. Like, I get all of it. I just think that it's just a moment that's just way too rushed, and there's not enough payoff for it.
Right. And it's just, yeah, that's a whole, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of how he's like, yeah, how he just turns real quick, and then how he's all of a sudden like, I gotta get a team together. Like, I have a feeling. Right. I buy into Batman's personality and his character that he's a paranoid motherfucker, and that he feels like,
because he is. We know that for a fact.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, shit might happen, so I need to get a team. But the way everything just happens so quick. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, once we get to Justice League, at that point, everything, like, I don't know. Once we watch it, I'll see if anything kind of harnesses back to BVS that could strengthen it. I know Zack Snyder likes to lay little Easter eggs here and there that may possibly be more add more weight to those Easter eggs, or might bring those Easter eggs more to light. Right. In Justice League. But yeah, we'll see. I think once we get there, then we'll start thinking about, like, because I'm sure Zack's gonna come out and be like, that was a reference to
this. Yeah.
But if I didn't even catch that reference in BVS, and does it even matter? You know, because he likes to go deep cut. And that's one of the problems that I have with Zack. Like, he needs to learn to just not be so inside baseball all the time.
He does play a lot of inside baseball.
Yeah, and I remember the one thing he pointed out, he's like, that painting above Bruce's bed when he wakes up after he when he wakes up that morning, he's got like the chick next to him, and he starts like drinking. He's like, that painting above his bed is like, it had this whole meaning. I'm like, bro, no one is going to get that. Like, I'm sorry, like, no one's gonna catch that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it possibly could strengthen BVS once that movie comes out.
The other thing too is I just thought of this as I was mentioning BVS. We're gonna get more Lex. Yeah. We're gonna get more Lex, and we're gonna get more Deathstroke.
Deathstroke, I'm all for. Yeah, good call, bro. Good pull.
Because apparently there was a sequence that was cut from Justice League where Deathstroke breaks Lex out of prison.
And oh my, yes, bro! I can't wait.
Yeah,
can't wait to see it. Let's go. And there's also another thing where apparently the post-credit scene was different. Yes. Because Joe Manganiello goes like, release the hashtag original post-credit scene. So like,
and it had and he gave the symbols of the sword and the bat. I was like, oh my god, bro. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
I hope the camera can't see my nerd boner right now. But I'm wearing gym shorts too. It's not good. But if we get a little, oh my god, if we get like a little, like,
just a little bit
fight between Batman and Deathstroke, yeah, I'm gonna jump out the window. I will do laps around this apartment. I mean the studio. Like, yeah, I can't wait. I am so excited. We're going to get. Just enjoy it, man. I don't see how anyone... Look, if the thing comes out and it sucks, fine. But there's still... I'm sure that even though it sucks, there'll be little things that we can pull from that we can just enjoy over the years.
Well, the thing, too, is that it's funny because I was talking to our number one fan, Eric Miller, yesterday.
Hashtag the
Eric Miller. And, you know, and we were just talking about... he asked me, like, what podcast we were doing, what we were talking about. And I mentioned we were going to talk about the Snyder Cut, and... He was like, oh, like, you know, like for Justice League? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, he goes, I don't even remember what happened in Justice League. I'm like, yeah. I was like, that's the point. I was like, even though you didn't like BVS, you remember what happened in BVS. Mm-hmm. But Justice League, you don't remember what the fuck happened in Justice League. That's how bland that movie was. So at the very least, what Justice League ends up being, the Snyder Cut, it's at the very least going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's going to have all this shit in it. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to remember what goes down.
There'll be a more kind of clear narrative through whatever is happening. Yes. At the very least.
At the very least.
Whether you like that narrative, whether you like that story, that's completely up to you. We'll figure it out. And look, let's be real here. There's going to be a large amount of people that are going to go into this thing with a preconceived notion of either they're going to love it no matter what, or they're going to hate it no matter what. Right. But I'm sure, like, I'm positive that there's going to be things, because of the way of the action sequences and the type of visual director that Zack Snyder is. Right. I'm sure there's going to be something fun that we can pull.
There's going to be certain sequences I think you're going to like.
Yeah. Like, Ben Affleck is my favorite Batman. He's not my favorite Bruce Wayne, but he's my favorite Batman. And I think one of my favorite Batman moments ever in cinematic history is from BVS. I told you this before. It's when he pulls in with the Batmobile.
Yes.
The Batmobile's all fucked up. He goes into his like thing. He pulls up. He gets out of the Batmobile. And as he's climbing up the stairs, he takes off his cowl. And then he's standing in front of the Bat computer with his cowl off. That to me, I remember seeing that for the first time. I'm like, that's Batman.
That's Batman.
I'm like, that is fucking Batman.
Yeah.
That is 100%. How many times have we seen him in comics, in cartoons, do that exact same thing or something similar? I think the only time ever that we got Batman with his cowl off in front of a computer was in Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
When he comes back for the first time with the flash drive. But even the way that wasn't that didn't hit as much as the way this hit.
I mean, this is why I think I really appreciate Zack Snyder's, because for all the people that say he doesn't understand Superman, doesn't understand Batman, I don't buy it. Like, I don't buy when people say that, because he has such a huge knowledge, and the panels that he pulls from comics, like, it's ripped straight from the comics.
But that's the only argument I have for that, is that he pulls those just for the sake of pulling them.
You're saying that he doesn't understand them?
No, I'm not saying he doesn't understand them. I don't think it serves his stories well sometimes.
Okay,
I think he does it just to be like, look, I have it. Like, he works those how do I say this? Like, he works the panel into the story rather than the story serving the panel.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get into it too much because there's a lot of panels. But yeah, there are panels a whole bunch of times. But I feel like he just throws them in there just as like almost maybe fan service, or I just don't think that story serves them so much. And they don't genuinely kind of come into it. It's more for the sake of just having them in there. Okay. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. But I do believe that he is a fan, that he does understand the characters. I don't agree with some of his takes on the characters. Right. But yeah, I definitely do think that I would also agree with you that I disagree whenever someone says that he doesn't understand it, because why not?
Which is why, like, I'm excited for Justice League, because, like, I want to see him almost kind of not finish out, but like
sweating
somehow. I know, bro. You're excited.
I'm excited.
You're excited. It's just somehow conclude his. Because to me, I looked at this as like the third and final like arc for Superman, you know, as kind of like a birth, death, and rebirth kind of thing. And this is like the rebirth, and I think we're gonna get a lot of Superman.
Shout out to Rebirth
in Justice League. Yeah, shout out to Rebirth. Yeah,
so good, you know.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeff Johns. I know he gets a lot of shit. I've been shitting on him for a long time.
At least when it comes to movies.
Yeah, when it comes to movies, exactly. But when it comes to comics, you know, even like the Martha moment.
Yeah.
There's videos of him talking about like it's a really cool moment.
Yeah.
The movie uses a great unifying thing, right? Martha. They both have a deep connection to their parents, whether their parents are alive or dead. And that one word, Martha, I think is a really cool connection.
I'm just like, oh, man. But there's a whole other conversation we can have on Jeff Johns and everything that's kind of happening that we have certain views on. But yeah, man, I'm so pumped. And yeah, I agree. If this is the final chapter on some of these characters like Batman, Superman, let's enjoy it.
Right.
Let's have fun, and we can't wait. We're so excited.
Agreed. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, subscribe to the Effin' Nerds podcast on YouTube and Twitter and now Instagram.
And we woke up early to do this.
We woke up really early.
So now I'm wired. I'm ready for the day.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready for the day.
Anything else you want to add before we sign off?
No, just subscribe. We have an Instagram page now, so I believe we will be sliding into those DMs of all these certain people, you know, for that follow and for that like. But yeah, just we hope you enjoy this. Let us know if you want to talk with us. Feel free to.
Yeah. Are you guys excited for the Snyder Cut, man? You know, to have a conversation with us below, man. We're amped, man. We're really amped.
Yeah, and then also I will say one more thing about how when we were doing our previous episode, how you said like if you're living under a rock. Yeah. Like, look, the general audience like may not know what's going on, and I think in terms of the general audience, the hashtag Release Snyder Cut fan base is very small in regards to like the general audience. So yeah, if you didn't know what was happening, hopefully this video filled you in or like educated you a little bit. Right. You know, Professor Martin is out here laying down the knowledge for the people. And yeah, if you are excited, share your thoughts. Let us know. We would love to, whether you like it or not, if you have different views on something. We are not going to like tell you to fuck off because you didn't. Like, we're not those people. We like to converse. We like to see people's point of views. That's my favorite part about talking about movies. You know this. Whenever we get out of movie theaters, I like eavesdropping on people.
Hear what people are saying about it.
And sometimes people are like, "That was the greatest movie ever." And I'm like, "Okay, wow, all right, that's how you feel. Okay, cool." Yeah. But yeah, we're down to talk. We're down to discuss. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in.
Yep. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep. Bye.